don't want any problems up in here. You understand what I'm saying?
Hypocritical government officials who use cannabis prohibition laws to persecute black people and destroy their lives are now promoting and profiting from cannabis, collecting billions of dollars with no accountability for the pain they caused.
But these people came in here and they were ready to kill us.
Yeah. I mean, I felt violated. I just remember being so angry that they handcuffed my mom and sat her in the front yard.
Wow. How do you live like that?
You know, a public records request under RCW 4256. And in that request, we were seeking any emails, originally emails, that resulted from our request. In other words, what did you do with this, Mayor Durkan? It was sent directly to you and the city council. What did you do? Thoughts that maybe you didn't get out in there that you'd like to get out now?
You know what I think is really important is that everybody's got to take responsibility for this future we're going to build.
You must be dreaming, Jenny, because you haven't taken responsibility for anything. Let me wake you up to the reality. Not even the LGBTQI community wants you around anymore, so it's not just me. You have proved yourself to be a completely unreliable public servant who hates free speech and who unlawfully prosecuted black people in medical cannabis under the Ogden Memo era because you are a phony, white, wealthy, liberal racist, okay? It's gonna come out in my public records lawsuit against you one way or another, and that's why you hired this $350 an hour lawyer to fight me, because you know that I know what I'm talking about. At taxpayer expense, mind you, okay? Too bad they couldn't put that to a vote.
That the seventh floor is off limits right now.
Okay.
That floor is still closed to the public.
Okay, so when did that happen?
That's been happening.
Since, do you remember when?
It was pre-COVID.
Is that right?
Pre-COVID and during COVID.
So even pre-COVID, so let me get this straight, guys. So pre-COVID, they shut off the access to the mayor's office. See where this is going? I could see if it was during COVID, but Jenny shut it off before COVID even started. That's because she doesn't want any truths to come out. That's ridiculous right there, right?
Yeah, I know that was the first question to you, is that you're part of the establishment. And so you're saying I can use that establishment to our advantage, basically.
I think I have the establishment and the working people. I think that's the only way we can move forward.
Still dreaming, are ya? Looking more like a candidate from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. You wish this would all go away, but it won't. So instead, your administration blocks off the 7th floor to media, and there's some anti-tripod ordinance there now, I take it. I've asked to see that in my current public records request.
I have. A million times. Trust me on that.
Unless you got news credentials, like work for an actual news company.
No, that's not the law. The First Amendment, no. I was the First Amendment attorney, sir. No disrespect, okay? But I have shot in here before, independently, and with news production companies, okay? I've worked for a daily newspaper, I've worked for a weekly, I've worked for independents. And there is no law that says that, ever. And I'm not gonna have that. So I'm gonna do my broadcast up here, respectfully, and I'll finish, and I'll go home. Thank you.
You can't do it with that tripod.
That's not true. That's unconstitutional. And you know what? In Seattle, you need a mask anyway, because everything around here smells like shit and piss. Schmetley! Remember Schmetley? He was like my favorite dude. Yeah. Good cartoon character, right? Well, we're here today in Seattle City Hall, a cartoon of a city with a cartoon of a mayor. Yeah. And we're gonna talk about how Jenny Durkan and her team of lawyers are fomenting racism by trying to avoid document production and the truth about what she's been doing with respect to blacks in cannabis by accusing me of being a dangerous, violent man. Boom! Oh, look at that! Anyway, come with me. I may lose you in the elevator, but we're gonna continue on. I may take the stairs, so let's go. So anyway, this is a, oh, Peppa. Oh, Peppa. Oh, Peppa. Oh, my dog is so great. Share with you my observations of the city. It's horrible. It's a fucking mess, man. I'm so glad I don't live here anymore. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it really is bad. you come down here, people used to talk about New York City like it was dirty and this and that. I'm like, pshaw, man. Yeah. How's it going? All right, brother. See, I'm a friendly guy. I'm not dangerous. It's my mind that's dangerous, and that's what they hate. But they can't say that. So instead, they try to take things I say out of context. I said I was going to roast Jenny Durkan up like so much habanero chicken, right? And they tried to take that and make it into a threat. I mean, like what? I'm going to put her on a... Let's just stop right there, because that's not a tasty meal. I'll tell you that. Her wife can have it, because everybody else want it. If I lose you on the elevators, I should come back on. I think the mirror's on 5 or 7. Let's see. Consoles 2. Yeah, mirror's on 7. Yes. What's that? Well, I'm going up to do a broadcast. I'm going up to do a broadcast. Yeah, news broadcast.
Okay, but you can't have your tripod though, unless you got a permit.
A permit? No. I've shot here before. I shot here all the time without a permit. When did the permit thing come up?
There's never been where you can come in and do stuff with a tripod. So.
I have. A million times. Trust me on that.
Unless you got news credentials, like work for an actual news company.
No, that's not the law. The First Amendment. No. I was the First Amendment attorney, sir. No disrespect, okay? How about that?
What floor are you going to?
7, the mayor's office.
Good luck.
Yeah, I know. The man said good luck, all right. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. He said, I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so now, if I take it off the tripod, I guess there's still a problem? Oh, I can't get up there. Is that it? Oh, so it's all different now. You see, this is how it happens. So, are you telling me now I can't get up there now? Is that what it is?
Hold on.
I don't have access now?
So, like I said, you have to have a permit to do a broadcasting with that tripod.
But I just told you a second ago I would take it off the tripod when I got up there.
And
So what's the problem now?
And then you never let me explain to you that the 7th floor is off limits right now.
Okay.
That floor is still closed to the public.
Okay, so when did that happen?
That's been happening.
Do you remember when?
It was pre-COVID.
Is that right?
Pre-COVID and during COVID.
So even pre-COVID, so let me get this straight, guys. So pre-COVID, they shut off the access to the mayor's office. See where this is going? I could see if it was during COVID, but Jenny shut it off before COVID even started. That's because she doesn't want any troops to come out. That's ridiculous right there, right? So now, let me understand this. Let me understand this then. What areas then are open?
1 through 6.
1 through 6. Okay, very well. Thank you.
Again, that tripod has to be gone, sir.
I'll take it off when I get there. Thank you. All right. Very good. All right. No tripods in City Hall. What a joke, right? It's off the tripod. So you'll see me coming off the tripod. All right, tripod there. I'm over here. And I guess I don't need a mask up here. There's nobody here. All right. Okay, so this is what happened, folks. 9 years ago, there was, actually 10 or 11 years ago, there was a memo called the Ogden Memo, okay? The Ogden Memo stated that federal prosecutors should not be prosecuting people if they had medical licenses in states, that had medical approval, okay? Well, Brian Corbray was just one such fellow. And he had, 3 shops called Game Collective. He was a fastidious businessman. I know this by knowing him. But yet Jenny Durkan pulled out language within that memo to try to make him into having a cartel, which was completely ridiculous, okay? So they got rid of all the BIPOC and blacks that were prevalent in the cannabis community in the medical area. They screwed all the medicals, by the way, all right? That's part of their plan. We're not going into that right now. But she was especially hard on people like BIPOC people like Brian, who was a very successful person with 3 different shops. So flash forward 9 years later, and what we attempted to do was to get a meeting with Mayor Durkan, because we're now in the era of the supposed era of the equity and cannabis movement, okay? And there was a department specifically in her office that deals with this, right? So Mr. Corbray and I wrote a letter, and Aaron Barfield was in on it, okay? We wrote a letter saying, hey, let's get this going. Let's see if we can have a discourse, right? I never got any response back from that request. So then, after that point, we decided to issue a request for document production, a public records request under RCW 4256. And in that request, we were seeking any emails, originally emails, that resulted from our request. In other words, what did you do with this, Mayor Durkan? It was sent directly to you and the city council. What did you do? Well, make a long story short, city council responded in a fairly timely fashion. I'm not sure if I have a claim against them or not, but Mayor Durkan kept giving me promises. So the original request was made in October of last fall. In November, that's when we requested the documents, okay, that resulted from this email asking for a sit down, okay? So I'm like, hey, well, did Mayor Durkan refer it to the, Equity and Cannabis Division? That's part of, City Hall. Her name is on their website. After all, that would be a logical thing to do, wouldn't you think? Okay, well, that's what I thought. So I got a promise that it was going to take until March 17. And I says, that's bullshit. You don't need that long for this. So March came and passed. April came and passed. May came and passed. June came and passed. July came and passed. It just kept going on. And I think July was it, basically. All these months went by. And here's the key. I finally filed a lawsuit in late June because they kept promising and not delivering it, when the methodology that Durkan's office used was no different than that the other legislative or civil rights areas used, okay? It was the same thing. So what took them like half a year to give me the information that I got promptly from the other ones, okay? And then you all know that Durkan has an issue with text retention, right? Which she should know better than that because she was a federal prosecutor. She should know about the value of maintaining these documents, right? That's, it's a big thing. E-discovery in federal court's a huge thing. It's a huge thing everywhere. But for some reason, she's being sued now by the Seattle Times, and also her whistleblowers are claiming that there was all kinds of adverse activity in her office as well under that whole thing. So I amended and supplemented my request to include, and I did this on June 13, and I asked everybody to supplement now with additional information, including text, all this stuff. I never got a response back to that. You're supposed to get a response back within 5 days indicating when they are going to produce the information. I got none of that from any of them. So meanwhile, her lawyers show up and they pull up this information about me to try to make me into a dangerous black man. It's the same old, same old. I've gone through it. I could show you the document later. It's linked. I'll send up the link later to all the Times. And they usually trot out some white woman to do it, okay? The first one they trotted out was a white lawyer named Corolla Cowaton or something like that. Corolla was her name, or is her name. And she used to work for the U.S. Department of Justice, I think. But she's out here now. She married a guy, and they're out here settled up, okay? But she was the first one to imply it, taking something I said out of context, out of a court document, wasn't in court, to try to, imply that I was going to do something unprofessional in a deposition. Meanwhile, I'm showing them and the entire world how white men have attacked me in depositions and gotten away with it. And I sat there and took it because as a black man, I know I can't retaliate because it will all fall on me. And that's the thing. And I've said that in the court document. I've said it in emails with the court.
and with my opposing counsel, and they keep telling me not to do it. Well, I won't do it anymore, but I did it to make a point. You don't know how it is when I am receiving legitimate threats, and you, white women of privilege, are being used against a black man. Used to be a time when white women and black men had a common thing, and oftentimes we still do, because we've both been oppressed in some ways, by and large. But what they're doing now by trotting out this innocent white woman who is under threat by someone like me is ludicrous, and it's patently offensive. I've talked to my counselor about it over the years, right? So anyway, let's come to the next lawyer. The next lawyer, Brandy B. Belanda. Okay, I forget the name of her firm, but just look her up, Brandy B. Belanda. From Hawaii, no less, or at least she spent a lot of time there. She gets no mahalos for this. She comes in, and I warned both these lawyers not to do that with me, and she did it anyway. So then I was compelled to, they're just trying to take the issue off of what the issue is, which is Durkan, right? So then I was compelled to show the examples, some of them in video, where I was attacked by some white lawyer for no reason, okay? And the Board of Bar Overseers, I think it is in Wisconsin, found that this guy, Mark Bretan, approached me in a threatening and confrontational manner. And yet they still only gave him not even a reprimand, they gave him a diversion program. Could you imagine if I did that? Really? Yeah, he attacked me. You guys have seen the video. Walked all the way across the room and attacked me when I had every right to be there as a journalist during a bar hearing. The bar hearing was for a white woman named Wendy. What is Wendy's last name? She's a lawyer out there. Anyway, I can't remember her last name, but Wendy fights for the people, and they didn't want her around, so they were coming after her license. That's how they do it. And they didn't want me in there, and they found a way to kick me out. And then my First Amendment lawsuit, they found a way to deal with that too, all right? So this is like a part of a pattern that's going on, and Jenny Durkan and her lawyers are fomenting racism. So I came down today to file a supplemental affidavit, a declaration as to the chronology of events so that the court can see what really happened. And that's the news that we're talking about here. That's the news that, of course, major press will never cover. So I'm here to do it for them. And that's about it. Yeah, and we'll see what happens with the lawsuit. I think it has to go to trial, and we'll see what happens. And that's it for now. Over and out. King Cast. Peace. And I mean that. Peace.
2010, Breon Corbray launched Greenpeace Alternative Medicine and Education Collective, The Game.
This was the parking lot would be full, People all in the front parking lot. It wasn't empty like this. It was full, Stay like that all day.
Do everything right. Follow all the rules. Get all the paperwork. Keep all the records. If you do it right, they can't do anything to us. Literally, that's what we thought.
It was sad because we watched Breon work hard from coming from nothing, man. We watched him grind and grit, the blueprint, and then see all his shots be successful, and then in an instant be snatched right under him.
Man, they come in the door, next thing I see guns.
Yeah,
I think we get robbed. Oh shit, these motherfuckers got guns.
Hypocritical government officials who use cannabis prohibition laws to persecute black people and destroy their lives are now promoting and profiting from cannabis, collecting billions of dollars with no accountability for the pain they caused.
But these people came in here and they were ready to kill us.
I mean, I felt violated. I just remember being so angry that they handcuffed my mom and sat her in the front yard.
Wow. How do you live like that? How do you live like that in the greatest nation in the world?
It was a lot of fear. It's real fearful. Even when I see police now, I don't really trust in them. You know what I'm saying? Based on what happened to us. Every day I feel like they could set me up, because they did. They set us up.
I guess you can find a silver lining in every dark cloud, kind of thing. But it doesn't make up for the fact that they still tried to destroy a family.